The New Orleans Saints desperately needed a victory, and boy did they deliver in a heart-pounding 26-14 triumph over the Giants, complete with some jaw-dropping defensive plays that had fans on their feet. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this win a turning point for a team that's off to a rocky 1-4 start, or just a temporary high before the real challenges hit? Stick around to dive into the highs and lows of this game, and you might find yourself questioning what it truly means for the Saints' future. The Saints didn't just secure a win. They forced turnovers on 5 straight possessions, igniting the Caesars Superdome crowd for the first time this season. It was more than a victory. It was a morale booster in every sense. Sure, they're still at 1-4, but there's optimism here to build upon. With that in mind, let's break down my stock up and stock down players from this exciting day at the Dome, keeping things straightforward so even newcomers to football can follow along. Stock up, the winners. All right, this might not be groundbreaking news, but the big breakthrough for the Saints finally arrived. Spencer Rattler and Kellen Moore notched their first win together. It was bound to happen eventually, but if it hadn't come this week, it would have raised serious alarms. Now, we can shift the focus from when will they win to more pressing questions, like how close are they to becoming a real playoff contender? And this is the part most people miss. While we're celebrating, let's not overlook the bigger picture of their long-term potential. For today, though, let's highlight the positives. The Saints have been exceptional at protecting the ball on offense, with Rattler tossing just 1 interception against 5 touchdowns this season. He's keeping drives alive and giving his team opportunities, even if he's not always taking the big risks I'd love to see. Risks that might be crucial in tougher games down the line. For now, I'm content with a quarterback who plays smart to secure wins, especially when backed by a defense that's capitalizing on every chance. Their winless streak ended at 10 games, so no more comparing Rattler to Troy Aikman or Deshaun Watson in a negative light. Instead, we can debate, does Rattler have the chops to be a long-term starter, or is he just holding the fort until the next big thing? Another victory soon would certainly strengthen that case. R2. Big play offense. This isn't so much about the Saints' ability to consistently create explosive plays as it is about the massive impact one can have when it connects. It's been a hot topic, and a valid one. Where have all the game-changing moments been? Well, they found one here, and its effect was as profound as any you'll witness. Trailing 14-6 and backed up deep in their own territory, the Saints had already settled for 2 field goals. It didn't look like their defense would shut down Jackson Dart and the Giants anytime soon. But then, in 13 personnel, that's a formation with 1 running back and 3 tight ends for those new to the game. They faked a run and Rattler launched a pinpoint deep pass. The protection held, and Rashid Shaheed caught it in stride, using a double move to shake Tyler Nubin completely. Game over. Shaheed hit a top speed of 21.72 miles per hour, ranking as the 5th fastest by any ball carrier this year. The Superdome, which had been quiet, exploded, and that energy carried through the second half. This play was a huge lift for an offense that hadn't delivered those moments yet. As center Eric McCoy put it, anytime you have an explosive touchdown, it gets everybody rolling. And roll they did. The Saints racked up 23 unanswered points, forced 5 turnovers, and flipped the game's frustrations onto the Giants. It was Rattler's longest pass of his career and Shaheed's longest receiving touchdown. A timely boost for the wide receiver who hadn't scored since early 2024 and had been rehabbing a knee injury all offseason. It felt good, Shaheed shared. I feel like we were waiting on a play like that to hit for the last 2 weeks. When the opportunity came, we executed, and that's always a great feeling, and I felt like it built momentum for the rest of the game. The Saints are equipped with talent to make these big plays happen, and hopefully their confidence in going for them will grow. For beginners, think of it like this. In football, a single big play, like a long pass or run, can shift the entire game's momentum, turning a close contest into a blowout. 3. The kids are all right. The Saints gave up a quick touchdown to start, then lost veteran safety Justin Reed to a concussion. Jordan Howden stepped in, but the Giants scored again via Jackson Dart to Theo Johnson. That's when the defense clamped down, and what made it even cooler was the role of the young players leading the charge. Second-year pro Kool-Aid McKinstry kept shining, snagging his first career interception, though some might argue it should have been batted away, followed by his second shortly after. On the other side, rookie Quincy Riley provided tight coverage without drawing much attention, a great sign for a young defensive back. Rookie Jonas Sanker was a standout in the backfield, recovering a fumble, making key tackles in the open field, and bringing calm to the unit. Paired with third-year pro Howden, the veteran here, Howden capped it with an 86-yard scoop-and-score touchdown that essentially sealed the win. "I think there'll be a foundation of this team for years to come," McCoy said. "Super proud of all of them today, but those two especially have just continued to impress me." I don't usually quote offensive linemen on defensive backs, but I wholeheartedly agree. These young defenders are the future, and their strong showing is encouraging. For those unfamiliar, the secondary is the group of defensive backs who cover receivers and prevent big passes. Think of them as the last line of defense. Honorable mention Terrell Burgess made one of the game's biggest stops by staying composed and chasing down Darius Slayton to deflect a deep flea flicker pass. Dart underthrew it, giving Burgess the chance, but his poise prevented a penalty or worse, a potential big giant score. He could be a key player moving forward. Brian Bresee had a solid all-around performance, a tackle, a quarterback hurry, a pass deflection, and a forced fumble that led to that 86-yard touchdown. Beyond stats, he dominated on third downs, forcing checkdowns and helping the Saints stop drives. With Chase Young sidelined, Bresee stepped up as the edge rusher they needed. The offensive line, Kelvin Banks, Trevor Penning, Eric McCoy, Torricelli Simpkins, and Talise Fuaga, deserves kudos for not allowing a single sack, despite the Giants' reputed pass rush. Rattler also played a role in avoiding pressure. Taysom Hill didn't dazzle with stats, but his presence elevates the offense, especially in short yardage situations, and he even completed a 19-yard pass. He seemed a bit out of sync, as expected after time off. But it's clear Coach Kellen Moore is eager to integrate him. He's a versatile weapon, and the question was whether the staff would use him. Evidently, they are. Stock down. Red zone offense. I hate to dampen the good vibes, but amidst the turnovers and Shaheed's touchdown, a major flaw stood out. The Saints struggled mightily in the red zone against the Giants. On 3 chances, they only managed short field goals, including 2 goal-to-go situations. That's when you're inside the opponent's 10-yard line, aiming for a touchdown. Negative plays plagued them, a penalty, and a risky Taysom Hill sweep that went nowhere. To succeed there, you need a strong running game to keep defenses honest, but the Saints didn't execute that well. Plus, the cautious approach instilled in Rattler by the coaching staff might be holding them back. And this is the part most people miss. Perhaps they should lean on more fade routes, high-arcing passes to tall receivers near the end zone. The Saints now have bigger-bodied receivers like Devon Vele, who's been with the team for a month and should be fully involved. Why not feature him more in these critical spots? It's a controversial take. Some fans might argue it's too risky, but it could open up scoring opportunities. 2. Earl returns. The only positive from the Saints' kickoff returns was that the Giants didn't dominate the second half. It was a mess, though I give Jamie Gillen credit for his efforts. All 3 returns were mishandled. First, Kendre Miller caught the ball in play, his momentum carrying him into the end zone, and he brought it out to the 9-yard line. The smarter move? Let it bounce into the end zone for a touchback at the 20, avoiding the risk. Next, Velus Jones knelt in the end zone, but fielded it first, potentially costing yards if it would have gone in untouched. Worst case, still the 20. Then, Jones did it again, fielding deep and bringing it out to the 16. Touchbacks would have been better. These are quick decisions, not always perfect, but they highlight inconsistent special teams execution. For a team with thin margins like the Saints, giving away yards here puts them behind early. Beginners, note that special teams handle kicks and returns. Mistakes here can set the tone for the whole game. 3. Kicker woes. I'm a huge Blake Grupe supporter, but his struggles continue and aren't improving. To be fair, He nailed 4 kicks, including a 53-yarder, and both extra points. But inconsistency persists, and it could soon cost a game. Today's misses were from 52 and 46 yards, and how they went wrong is telling. One hooked left with a draw, spin on the ball. The other went straight right without one. This suggests he's not striking the ball cleanly or trusting his form. Golfers know that feeling of aiming perfectly, but missing inexplicably. He's also shanked 2 kickoffs short this season. Is it a confidence dip or an injury? We might not need a change yet. It's time for a serious talk. Grupe is 10 for 15, 66%, surpassing his 2024 misses 4 already. Yet he showed his grit with a tackle on a kickoff when he could have stayed out. He's a team player, but we need him hitting more kicks reliably. A few more. The running game disappointed against the Giants' weak defense, netting just 88 yards on 30 carries, 2.9 per attempt. That's got to improve. Kendre Miller heated up late, but they should have leaned on him more. Blocking needs work too. I'm thrilled with his growth, though. And can the referees please step up? This game was rough even for them, with a questionable roughing call on Carl Granderson's fourth-quarter sack being particularly soft. They need to do better. What do you think, Sans? Is Spencer Rattler's cautious style the right path for the Saints, or should they push for more aggression in the red zone? Do the young defenders signal a bright future, or are we overlooking bigger issues? And is Blake Grupe's inconsistency a fixable hiccup or a red flag? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree, disagree, or have a controversial take of your own? Let's discuss.